Hey, welcome back to Trust the Rust. Today we're going to work on my 1949 Minneapolis Moline R. I'm having starter troubles. If you saw the video where I was getting the hay in and we talked about that, the Oliver 770 from my grandparents' farm, and we're using this as a runner back and forth to my parents' place, and I parked it in here to get out of the rain, and then when I went to go back and use it, it did this. Oh, disconnected the battery, all right. Let's try that again. It did this. The fan blade barely moved, just at the hit of the button, and then it just hums. So we're going to take this out, see if I can find something obvious. The show's in a week and a half, so 10 days. So I got to get this figured out. It's one of my favorite tractors. I think I've got a starter if this one is bad, and hopefully we can swap it on here and make it run. First thing we're going to do is I always take my ring off, my wedding ring, when I work with electrical. Next, I'm going to disconnect this again, lay that aside. Now I need to get my wrenches and we'll get the starter out. Yeah, I'm cheating. Adjustable crescent wrench. Holy cow, I haven't had this starter out in years. I mean, like, geez, Christmas, probably 30 years. There we go. Yeah, hard to believe. Let's see, this is 2025. And this is probably right around 1997, actually. 96, 97 when I got this taken care of. Screwdriver. Hopefully I can get that out. Putting lots of body weight on it. Yeah, I'm just twisting the screwdriver. And if you don't get that out, you're not getting the starter out. Well, that sucker is tight. May just take that nut off and then I'll put some oil down past it, otherwise oil's not going to get down in there. I'm just going to break the screwdriver, so let's finish getting that nut off. And that nut's not happy about coming off. And the thing is, too, is this has been stored in, I've had this, let's see, I've had this stored indoors for probably 25 years. But, you know, it doesn't take much rain to get things all nice and rusty again. Wow, it's cleaning threads, that's for sure. I see metal shavings in here. Might be sorry I took this nut off. I don't know if you can. One of the shavings right there. Set that out of the way. Now there's a bunch of dirt in that. There we go. Alright, I'll go get some oil and start soaking that. Maybe grab the torch and we'll put some heat to it as well. Alright, a little bit of your favorite penetrating oil. Right there. While that's soaking in, let's get these wires off. Yeah, I'm using crescent wrenches today. I don't feel like grabbing a bunch of them and hoping one is right. Okay, don't forget, the black one goes to the top. Let's see if I can... Huh. It seems to be on the loose side of things. How on earth did I do that? Get that out of the way. Put that around the block bolts. So the other thing that could be wrong is, well, look, that nut's loose too, ish. Now, I wish I had a, I don't want that wire getting caught up in anything. I'm trying to keep it out of the way so I don't wreck it and have to fix that too. Yeah, now I'm wishing I had grabbed an end wrench. Probably would have fit in here better. Well, actually, I can wait. I got this off. I got that wire off. I doubt that little bit. It's only been a minute, but try it anyway. Something's starting to give, but it's not that bolt. So we'll hold that. Hold that out of the way, the cable. More oil. Hopefully it'll suck that down into the threads. Then you let it cool. I wonder if I stuck a screwdriver in here like this. Probably not. Boy, this may take a few heat cycles. No, it already looks like I broke the tip of that screwdriver off at one point. It might have been this thing that did it too. Yeah, I'm just hogging that open, man. I'm going to make things worse. I don't have a welder here, so I can't weld the nut and heat it that way and then pull it off. I don't know. I don't know if there's enough threads that I can jam nut it, double nut it, and then try getting it off. May try that as well. I don't know if me putting that screwdriver in there pried this open to where it doesn't want to fit. You know, made essentially the bolt bigger than the nut. I can't touch it because it's hot. Maybe I'll grab a file and see if I can get a couple burrs. This one looks like it's definitely hindering my progress. I don't want to hurt or strip the threads on the set screw. I'm afraid that's what's going to happen. There we go. Whew. Should put some anti-seize on that thing. It's about 30 years worth of grime sitting on this starter. Oh yeah, it's chunky in there a little bit. How did... Huh. There's water. I'll show you. See that? I mean, that's not all the way... I mean, back here in this dark area, that's where the flywheel is. But that's filled with water and a little bit of goo. Not bad, but it's there. Oh wow, that's definitely some goo. I wonder if I didn't get that out when I first got this tractor running. I have no idea. No idea what I did, but I'm going to get that cleaned out before we stick anything else in there. Okay. Now that goes to ground just like on the battery. And we'll hit the post and nothing. It was moving a little bit, and I thought it didn't have a good ground, but we got power there, so there it goes. Yeah, we got a good connection. Nothing's happening when I hit that post, and it should spin motor. So I'm going to do something I'm not very good at. I'm going to take this motor apart and see if there's some obvious that I can see that maybe I can clean it and make it work again. Oop. Sure that's on there good. Already got one started, so we'll just spin those out. There we go. We'll take this end off first. There we go, there's the nose cone. So I'm going to grab a flashlight so I can see better. I don't have good light here at the bench. Well, this is where the brush is right, and I see it's dirty, but the grooves are not plugged up. I mean, it could definitely, use some cleaning, and more than that as well. That's just see how much comes off, and that's how much came off. Wow. That's not the worst I've seen. Not that I've had many of them apart, but all right, let's set. Oh, don't want to lose that washer, spacer, whatever that thing is actually called. Put that back on. Now I'm looking in here, and the brushes. Let's see. Now that one, not very springy. Only one brush is really working. Two, that one's working. Yeah, maybe they're all working. Some are just a little stiffer than others. Alright, I'm going to clean this up a little bit and then try putting it back in and see what the brushes do. So don't forget, I don't know what I'm doing exactly. I know this needs to be cleaned and the grooves need to be cleaned out, so I sanded very lightly to get the coloration off. I used a pick to clean in between the grooves. all the way around. That's where the brushes ride. So I'm going to put this back on, and we're going to set it back down in there with the brushes. Supposed to be magnets in here, but I'm not feeling much for magnets. Of course, I'm not sure if they have to be hooked up in order to work or what's involved. So I'm going to take some time and get that back in with the brushes. Seems like I need to hold all 4 brushes. There are 4. Hold the brushes out because they're spring loaded and let that set back in. So 2 screws, one here and here, will release it from the casing. But this is, so there's a post right here that my nail is touching. And then there's the hook of the spring to give it that tension. So you got one, that one's weak, but it was riding on I don't know if it's armature. Here's the third one. That's good and strong. And then, oh, here's the fourth one. Nothing, because the spring is not hooked right here on the post. The spring is wrapped around. So I don't know if I can re-hook that spring, if it's any good, or the spring broke. So how about we take this screw off, and we'll it wasn't very tight. I wonder if all 4 of these have to work in order for it to make power. Let's take that off. All the way off. Oh wait, no, maybe not all the way. See, so that is supposed to be, oh yeah, it's broke. That top spring is supposed to be right there, and then there's supposed to be tension, or a longer piece. I don't know if you can see that, but that's broke off. That's supposed to be long enough to come and wrap around the post, like that one here. It keeps coming and has a bend in it and comes around the post right there. So it looks like this might be going into the shop. So I'm not sure if I'd be able to order the right springs or parts. There's no more tag on this starter. I believe this, yeah, the tag should be right there. You can just make out the oval shape, kind of pitted and rusty. So I will put this back together so I can take it in when I need to, and we'll see if I've got another starter laying around, throw it in and see if it works. Well, here's the one out of the stationary engine that I have underneath the lean-to, and I turn this out. This doesn't want to turn at all. I'm pretty sure that this is the one out of the stationary engine. I didn't pull it out of something else and swap a bad one into it, because I've had that stationary engine running. It's been some years for that as well, but you know what? Let's hook this thing up and let's see if it spins. Maybe that's the other problem with my starter is, oh, negative ground. Maybe that's the other problem with that starter is it's It's not supposed to turn easy. Oh wow, look at that. Holy cow. That's definitely an issue. That thing has torque. Alright, cable's on loosely so we can get our other make sure I got that in the right position. I don't think that's not gonna hit the other. So this starter has 2 set screw holes. And it's only gonna hit, only one of them's gonna work. So let's see. Get that out of the way. This will finish lining the starter up with that tapered point on the bolt. And in that hole on the starter nose cone, because that hole as well is tapered, that'll line this up just right. Alright, I need to break my damn nut loose. Please. There we go. That sucker's tight. There we go. Let's get that good and snug. I want to strip it. It's just copper threads. That's good. That's good. Alright. Moment of truth. Let's hook up the battery cable and see if it spins. Now let's get all... No, we don't have to. Not trying to start it. We just want to see if it spins. Do a handshake with the gear shift, make sure it's in neutral. Hand clutch, I can push that back again. It has to snap over forward for it to engage the gear, but double check. I see, I don't have to turn the ignition on, just push the button. Oh, hook the battery up first, silly. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's new. Maybe this starter's junk too, but it worked on the bench. Alright, I guess we'll have to do some testing. It's acting like it's not getting power. I don't even hear a click, so let me check that out. Okay, so I have power in battery. It's an 8-volt battery on a 6-volt system, and I had 8.16 on the meter. And then I checked it over here at the cable, and I had 8.16. But where I put this, the wire was clean, but the washer and the nut were dirty. As soon as I clean that, put it back on, we get... It's turning. So if it's turning, it'll start. Let's get all the tools off the hood of this thing and get it out of here, because I have other projects or other stuff in here I need to work on. I need to see if that will run for the first time in 5 or so years. This will, just got to get it out of the way. So get that running, make sure Grandpa starts, get him out. The Chevrolet has a charging issue, which I thought I had solved last year, but I didn't. I think it's a voltage regulator, so I got to work on that next after I make sure this is okay. So let's hear this thing run. Well, turn the gas on. Well, that battery's starting to sound low listening to that thing turn, like it's starting to slow up already. But that's... I can't reach this other cable. So when things start to turn slower, I start touching carefully battery cable ends. If you got a hot one, then it's not making a good connection. So Alright, shouldn't need choke. It's like almost 70 degrees, about 70 degrees today. It's cooled off from mid 80s. I think we're supposed to hit 90s next week. Maybe it's mid. Anyway, I like this cooler weather for sure. Here we go. No choke. Fuel's on, ignition's on, it should start. Okay, we'll charge the battery next. Alright, battery is charged for, I don't know, close to half hour, so let's give it a try. Let's try no choke. Hey, there we go. Well, that's it for this episode. Should be a short one. It's a relief. When that thing didn't want to start, and I'm thinking I need to do a starter, but I got all these other projects I want to work on. I was really hoping that spare starter was going to work for me, and it did. But then we had the other issue where the wire wasn't making contact, and now you got to stop and figure that out. It turns into an hour job, hour and a half, something like that. It turns into 3 or 4 troubleshooting. Of course, I could have taken a lot less time if I didn't want to try and make the other starter work and take it apart and investigate it a little bit. Again, I don't know anything about those components. They got to have good, clean connections, and of course, they all have their tolerances. You can't have loose. You can't have brushes that aren't making contact, and if the magnets inside aren't working, then that's not helping. So at some point we'll send that starter off of here, off to get rebuilt, to get it put back on, and we'll put that starter on the side and have it for another emergency like this. So all that's left to get ready for the show for this is to just hose it down, get some grass and shavings and stuff off the axles, and that'll be it. It'll be ready for the show. So until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye.